Good evening, folks, and welcome to this week's Weekend Wrap-Up. Joining us, as always, are our esteemed guests, men of honor. What the hell is that?
Sorry, I'm adjusting my light settings. There we go.
Oh my god.
Sorry about that.
Well, I was gonna say, as honorable as the men of the Night's Watch. I was watching some highlights of Game of Thrones earlier, and question to the panel before we get started: why do men have nipples? This is not a joke. This is a genuine question. I was about to Google it, but I was busy.
So this isn't trivia. You just want our opinion.
I just want your opinion, because in Game of Thrones, there's a part in the show where they go to the Unsullied and they cut off one of the guy's nipples, and he doesn't flinch or anything, which I thought was pretty crazy. But why do guys have nipples? It makes the case for all these different genders stronger.
Oh my god.
He's firing up. Mammals have
He's going
nipples?
straight into controversy.
He's firing up the show with that.
Okay,
So,
all right, here we go.
Yeah,
Here we
that's
go.
just part of being a mammal.
Yeah, it's just
but
evolution, right?
But what is the nipple for a guy?
There you go. There's your answer.
You can
Whoever
milk,
nailed it.
You can milk anything with nipples. I'm just gonna leave it there.
Jesus.
Can you milk me, Greg?
Exactly.
Let's
I
look at
have
the
nipples,
topics.
Greg. Can you milk me?
Let's look at the topics, okay? We got a no contest. Is Antonio Conte pleading no contest to all charges? I don't know if that's the proper usage of no contest, but we'll take a look at Spurs' situation. One hand on the title. I wonder who that could be. I wonder who has one hand on the title. Saved by the card. We'll be looking at a little bit of antics at Old Trafford in the FA Cup. We'll take a look at that. El Clasico was this weekend, the biggest game in club football, as they say. The draws for the European matches, everything's happening. We'll take a look at some of the brackets. We have an exclamation point predict in chat. There is one thing I will edit as we look at things here. Also, we have a couple quizzes. So one quiz is for the esteemed panel. The other is for chat. We're gonna do the interactive quiz on your screen. This is a tough one for the panel, by the way. It's not as easy as it seems. It involves top 200, so that's how difficult I had to, or easier I made it. We have a question that we hopefully will get to today. We have changed the rules. And also, if we have any extra time, we'll do some injury time. And at the end, if we have some time, we'll try some Football Manager. The time change is very discombobulating for me. I don't know about you guys. I'm a little... So I thought it was going to be an hour later for Cultured today, but it ended up being an hour earlier for Cultured. It's kind of rough.
Yeah, which was the same as NHL last Thursday, remember? Because he said it was too early.
Oh.
So my clocks don't change, right? I live on the equator, so my clocks never change. So if yours go forward, it means everything that we've organised, my time goes forward an hour.
Yours never change.
My clocks never change. I'm on the equator. So the sun always rises at 7, always sets at 7 every time, every day, all the year.
Which way does the water swirl in your toilet when you flush it?
Great question.
I need to check. I haven't really thought. Straight down. Let's just go straight down.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what they taught us in school as well. They said it would go an opposite direction,
way, right?
southern. Yeah.
It's a Simpsons episode, right? Where they make the American toilet in Australia so the water flushes the right way.
Yeah, something like that. Oh boy. Anyways, we're here, and let's get into our first topic.
Speaking of toilets, boy, have I got a topic for you.
There you go.
What a segue.
Yeah, seriously. Antonio Conte, in his explosive press conference after his side's late draw to Southampton, says they're used to it here. Don't play for something important. They don't want to play under pressure. They don't want to play under stress. Tottenham's story is this. 20 years there's the owner, and they never won something. Why? Until now, I tried to hide the situation. We can't fight for what for what in this period with this attitude, this commitment? For what? 7th, 8th place? If they want to continue this way, they can change the manager. A lot of managers, but the situation cannot change. Believe me. Cough. I mean, Jesus Christ. This is pretty crazy in the Spurs world. Pretty entertaining from my perspective, personally.
Especially from mine.
Yeah. Is this an end of season rallying cry, or is this, or is he just out? Is he just done?
What's surprising to me is at 9:40 my time, he's still employed. Apparently, he had some communication with the club yesterday after that and clarified that he was only talking about the players when he clearly singled out the owner. So he wasn't only talking about the players. I don't disagree with anything he said. Almost universally, like, you can't get Spurs fans on Twitter to agree on anything. Like, if you ask them what color the sky is, you'll get 30 different answers. And they'll get their little camps, and one will be blue in, one will be blue out. But I haven't seen anyone that's disagreed with them. It's just, you can't say that when they're paying you millions of pounds a year. You can't say that about your job, your employer. You can say it publicly. You can't say that, I should say. But I don't think he said anything that was false. Basically, I just have notes, and they're all, not all, but stats. A couple of them are stats, which I know some of you will enjoy.
Yeah, let's do them.
We haven't had a manager for a full season from August until, April? Since 18-19 season, which was Poch's last full season. So that's 5 seasons now.
At first I thought you said 18-19, the year 18-19.
Oh, not the year. No. Sorry, the 18-19 season.
Gotcha.
And over the past, and Conte mentioned this, over the past 20 years, Levy's hired 10 permanent managers. I don't know if that'd be interesting to try and name them all. But anyways, and those 10 managers have won 61 trophies before and after their time at Tottenham. So we'll say 6 trophies per manager. Some have won more, some have won less. And at their time at Tottenham in those 20 years that those 10 guys were there, they won one. And it was Juande Ramos in the League Cup, which the League Cup's meaningless to me. One club cares about the League Cup, and that's the team that wins it every year. But it doesn't mean anything. It's pointless.
Oh, you guys
did a really, really good job of stifling my laugh so far. I have to say.
Yeah. Wait a second. You guys won a League Cup?
2008 against Chelsea. Yeah.
Oh.
So 15
that's not
years
too bad
ago.
then. Yeah, that's not too bad.
Juande Ramos, he was sacked not too long after that. After he won back-to-back UEFA Cups with Sevilla. So that worked out well. I think he ended up going to Real Madrid right after.
Oh, that's right.
But yeah, I mean, he talked about the players being selfish. I don't disagree. Playing for themselves. And this doesn't apply to all of them universally. And he didn't, in the press conference, he didn't single anyone out. He said 11 players playing for themselves, not playing for the club, not playing for the fans. It's just incredible to see how many players are still there that have been just consistently underachieving during this whole not 20 years, but I would say since Poch probably would probably be the most fair assessment. Like Davinson Sanchez, any normal club would have sold him 2 years ago, probably. Just bite the bullet, take your losses, and he's gone. And find someone, hopefully, that's better. You don't have to spend as much or spend a lot on him, but yeah, and that's unfair to just say Sanchez. There's an article I read this morning from Mark Ogden, who I think is a massive prick. I hate that guy. He works for ESPN. He was one of the guys that was making fun of Harry Kane's like overbite, so it makes him talk kind of funny, like recorded on video. But anyways, he wrote an article about how Spurs should give Conte an extension. I mean, he has to agree to it, obviously, but offer Conte an extension at this point. He basically, the premise of his article was that over these 20 years, the players have always, whenever there's been a tough time, the players have always skated through. And I guess it's the same way in American sports. It's much easier to get rid of coaches than it is to get rid of players.
Right.
Just generally speaking. So, yeah, that kind of holds some, or doesn't hold water, that argument about how the club, whenever there's tough times, whatever the hell that means, that's just life, I guess. The club always like cuts the manager, like doesn't back the manager, I guess. And I don't mean that necessarily like a financial sense. Even though in Poch's case, they didn't buy a player for 3 windows and then were surprised when he got fired after 5 months, 6 months after the Champions League final. That Champions League final papered over a lot of cracks that season. That was probably the best achievement of the last 5 years, which is sad. But anyways, he said that the club should back the manager in a sense, like showing the players, like, look, this is our guy. You may not be our guys. If you want to be a Tottenham player, you need to get on board with him. And this was, again, this Mark Ogden's argument. I kind of agree with some of his points. It makes sense that, I guess in theory, that they should do that, but just the way that they've played this year, like earlier in the season, I know you asked me how I felt about the performances and stuff. I don't care if I normally don't care about performances, like how it looks, how attractive it is, as long as I can see a goal in mind. Somewhere along the way, that goal was lost. I can't pinpoint exactly where it was. So now the, whatever you want to call it, the war crime football, terrorist football, whatever, is less I mean, it never was appealing. I have less time for it, I guess, is a better way to put it. So I think if he was given time, I think it could work, but I don't think he wants to be here. I don't think he ever wanted to be here. If he wasn't getting paid 15 mil, what I've seen, it's between like 12 and 15 million pounds a year, his salary. If he wasn't getting paid that much, I mean, would he have done it for 10? Probably not. Like, I think he wanted to bend the club over backwards to get him in, and then he just comes in and says stuff like he did, which again, I don't disagree with, but you can't do that publicly. If you want to have a meeting with Levy and just go to town on him, go for it. If you want to have a closed door meeting with your players, go for it. Sorry, I wanted to touch on this. One last thing about that article. It says that Tottenham provides, I don't have the exact quote, a comfortable place for players to play. And Conte said they don't want to play under pressure. And I mean, a buddy and I were talking about Kane's games in finals specifically. He's been non-existent, even for England. Finals, bigger matches, semis. He just hasn't shown up. I know he was injured leading up to the Champions League final. He definitely shouldn't have started that game. I would have been okay if he came on as a sub later, but starting him was a big mistake from Poch. but he just hasn't performed in finals. He's not a clutch player. He never has been. He'll bang in. I think he scored most of his goals against Leicester, Southampton. He actually has scored a lot in North London derbies, which, sure, that's a feel good thing during the season. But what has it gotten you? Nothing so far.
Must be bad at Tottenham. Tottenham fans are blaming Harry Kane.
I'm not blaming him.
Well, yeah. So okay. Let's talk about Conte first, and then we'll talk about the Spurs squad.
Sure.
So last year he did a similar thing to this. I think after you guys lost to Burnley.
That was after 3 months of being in charge.
Yeah. So there's my hair is out of control. There's Jesus. Okay. Nasty. Anyways, sorry. Is there any chance he stays? Obviously, Mark Ogden is saying he should stay. They should sign him again. Cultured Milo. Do you think there's any chance he stays at this point?
Oh, I hope so.
He might stay till the end of the season.
Yeah.
He's not getting a contract renewal. There's no chance. I reckon it's all being delayed because they've got to. The lawyers are trying to figure out whether it's gross misconduct and he can just be fired without a big payoff. Rumor is he'll be gone, and what's his name? Ryan Mason will step in as caretaker till the end of the season.
Yeah.
But I imagine what's happening is that Levy is trying to get lawyers involved to say, I don't want to pay him off because that's gross misconduct, what he said.
Maybe.
Right.
Here's the other thing to consider. You're still in the top 4 battle. Is Ryan Mason the guy to perhaps guide you to that? Because that would make a massive difference on replacing Conte and the reinforcements that the new manager could get. Or somehow it becomes a miracle and Conte continues on there. If I was a Tottenham fan, if I was a Tottenham fan, I gotta have little jabs, Hoff, you know how it is. But
I know how it is.
I wouldn't want Conte to stay, obviously.
Yeah.
I would want him gone because it's just so unsettling. It's the same thing Mourinho does, right? He alienates everybody when he wants out. It's Mourinho 101. And Conte's obviously, he's always been a dick. He was a dick as a player as well. Honestly, used to watch him. He used to irritate me no end as a player.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's irritating as a manager is absolutely no surprise. I think that if they get rid of him, I'm not so sure that's the smartest decision this season, with 10 games to go.
It's so, I don't like using the word Spursy, but this is so Spursy because
it is
exact Mourinho on the brink of a cup final where he is a serial winner and probably would have won you, even if it was the League Cup, would have probably won that final because that's what he does.
Probably,
Give him that game, then sack him. Let him do that.
Oh,
You're on the
you
brink
have to
of
pay a
top
cup
4.
bonus. That's why.
Well,
Yeah, he's not paying that cup bonus.
You're on the brink of top 4, so get top 4, then sack him, like Milo sort of saying. But I think it's all down to lawyers and trying to sort out how much he's going to get paid off.
I think they'll play better, not necessarily play better, but he literally said, I saw 11 players playing for themselves. There were only 11 guys out there. How do you show up for, a lot of them are international break, whatever. How do you show up next Monday for training with this guy still in charge? I'm playing for myself, so fuck off. I'm not going to listen to what you're saying. I think you have to put not just necessarily Mason, but someone else. I think it helps. I think it improves chances of finishing top 4 because it's just a toxic situation now.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
If I think last week, the last couple of weeks I've been saying things like, how did you become a Spurs fan? This, that, and it's kind of funny that Conte just exploded this week because the same questions we were asking last week kind of apply. It's like Kane, Son, these two massive players for your club. What's going to happen to them? What it is, like you mentioned, players or the manager, easier to change the players. In this situation, it might be easier to change those players, but at the same time, if Conte leaves, right? Harry Kane being the Spurs guy, right? The Spurs through and through. Would that make it easier or make him less inclined to leave? Easier to leave or less inclined to leave if Conte leaves? And there's this big old, obviously this little debacle happened. Say they lose a couple more games or something, I don't know, or say they don't qualify for Champions League, and Conte gets fired. Would it seem like Kane is leaving Spurs when they're down, type of thing?
I mean, probably, but I wouldn't blame him if he left if we qualify for the Champions League or not. I've been resigned to him leaving for like 2 years now, and I'm honestly shocked he didn't go to City. Still,
you have to have a manager in place with a plan and replacement players lined up before you can let him go. That's key, or you're going to just drop further out of the conversation. But the other thing on that is, he is 30 in July, so before next season he's 30. Like I said last week, if United come in with an offer, for example, of 100 mil, you have to bite their arm off. Yeah, they'll get one or 2 years out of him at a high level. I don't think he's at the level he was already. I think he's already in decline as far as his positional play and movement. Like, he's not going to be like a spearhead, exciting, dynamic forward. I'm not so sure he's the player that United really should be going after, to be honest. Maybe the United fans can chime in on that, but and Son's 30 as well, right? Going to be 31 this year, I think. So either way,
or he's going to be 30. Yeah,
it's not that you have to replace them, but you've got to start having one eye on that. Anyway.
But getting that money for them makes it easier to replace them.
That's the key.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the problem too. Like, if Levy says the price is 100 million, you're not getting him for 99. You have to pay 100 million. And who wants to do that for a 30-year-old striker at this point with 1 year left on his contract? Just wait until he's 31 and leaves on a free. He might sit the whole year. I don't think a manager would sit him. It would have to be on his accord. It wouldn't be like the club sitting him.
I know what they're going to do, Huff. They're going to bring in Gareth Southgate, who loves Harry Kane, and they will continue their bond for Tottenham.
That'd be a great move for Tottenham, actually. That'd be good stuff. But yeah, any idea who the next manager might be of Tottenham?
I know who I would like it to be, but I have no clue who it's going to be.
Okay.
Because so let's say they sack Conte tomorrow. If they don't hire Poch, because he doesn't have a job right now. If they don't hire Poch, like in the same announcement or the same day, whatever, like they hired Mourinho the same day. If it's not Poch, like immediately, I don't think it's going to be Poch. Like in the summer, they won't.
I think Poch has already come out and said he's not going to join a club until the end of the season. He's already said that. Whether it's Spurs or not Spurs, because he said he wants to have a full pre-season with a squad. He doesn't want to come in halfway through a battle where it's toxic. I think he's already said that when he got sacked from PSG. He said he's never going to do that again. So
that makes sense. I would personally love Marcelo Gallardo from River Plate. He's not at River Plate anymore. He's also out of a job, but him and Luis Enrique are my two favorites. You would have to, and I know I complained about Spurs Twitter fans because they are fucking morons for the most part. You have to buy players for those guys, but you have to get rid of players too. Like Harry Winks isn't going to work for either one of those guys. You need like technical, like passing players with strong technical players for both of their systems, which is something that like is in the club's DNA, again, whatever that means.
Man.
Those are my two guys.
Oh man, it's just so bad. It's so bad at Tottenham right now. It's like I'm just gonna. I can't. It's just
Who
bad,
else,
dude.
Who
it's
else
just
can be
bad.
in 4th place and be this miserable?
It's true, actually. Yeah. I mean, it's
Go
if the
Costa.
play style was good,
Yeah.
I think it lifts everybody. I think
Yeah.
if you're playing this negative football, I think that wears down on these players who grew up playing, in great teams and expressing themselves, and it's like the Richarlison, you got a kind of a glimpse into it when Richarlison spoke up. He's like, we play like shit, and then Conte obviously twisted it into him saying he played like shit, but I think he's saying that they play like shit. They don't play like, they don't play like good football or, exciting football, whatever.
Unless you're winning, that must be so frustrating to play as a player. Like you can like Porto, right? When Porto won the Champions League under Mourinho, you could probably understand them enjoying playing that way because it worked and they beat big teams and they were the huge underdogs. Spurs in the name of the Premier League, if you're looking at the teams in the Premier League, Spurs aren't an underdog in every single game. They should not be playing that way in every single game, and that's got to be so irritating as a footballer.
I mean, can you imagine? Like, you have a lot of skillful players, and you're just playing this, was it Catenaccio football, whatever. All right. Anyways, football. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about Spurs next week. Well, we'll figure out something to talk about Spurs next week somehow. Maybe we'll have some news. Let's keep it moving though. We got to talk about the league leaders, Arsenal. Arsenal are 900 minutes away from lifting the Premier League trophy. 10 games
left. Do you believe
left.
Yet, Milo? Do you believe?
Yeah, that's basically it, Milo.
Let's get into it. Where do you want to start this week?
I mean, we could talk quickly about the midweek game, just real quick. I thought we could talk about that Pedro Gonçalves goal against Arsenal. I don't know if, you guys see that goal? That
I did. Yeah, I watched the game. Yeah.
It's a pretty nice goal. Do you think Ramsdale was at fault at all in that goal?
I don't think a top level keeper should ever be beaten from that position, although it wasn't from the halfway line, it was just inside, I suppose, if you want to get technical about it. Either way, as a player, if you get your head up and the keeper's off his line and you fancy your chances and it's something that you've practiced or it's something you're comfortable with, you're gonna have a go, right? So, and I'll take that right down to the 7-a-side level where I scored a goal from my own half because the keeper was off the line. And it's probably the best goal. To me, it was the best goal I'd ever scored in football. Just because I looked up, he was off his line, and I just hit it so sweetly. You know what I mean? And the way it went in, it was just great. And like, I've seen it, we've seen it before with Naeem. I think that one was a little bit more of a hit and hope. And, we see Beckham score one against Wimbledon. Obviously, that's a famous one. I think it was Wimbledon, right?
Yeah, Wimbledon. Yeah, West Ham.
Yeah, and so we see them occasionally. Look, I don't think a keeper should be getting beat from that position. However, his whole body of work that evening wasn't great. The penalties as well. I mean, he went the right way on every single kick. Now, I was going to do some research on that. Has that ever happened before? That a keeper's gone the right way every time and not saved one. That I was like, wow, like that's really weird to me that you can go the correct way and not get anything on any single one. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not saying it's fishy. It just something is odd about that. Anyway, but he also made a couple of amazing saves during the game, and we had chances to win that game. We could have put that to bed. We hit the post late on as well. I thought the game itself was really entertaining. It was quite an end-to-end game. And Sporting are a lot better than I thought they were going into the tie. And I mean, they're playing Juve next, and my money's on Sporting. The way Juve have been kind of up and down. They're not going to be an easy opponent for anyone.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I thought that was amusing. I thought it's probably a good sign that he picked the right side each time because. That shows that, all he needs to do is figure out how to get a hand of the ball, and he's got it down. Kind of like it's, that's there's definitely some skill involved there.
Yeah.
But, you know.
If you're reading which way the player's going every time, it's just a case of them slightly mishitting it or you slightly putting your hand in the right place. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing if you're guessing the right way every time.
Like, I mean, we all know he's not the perfect finished article of a goalkeeper. You know, he's not prime Seaman, Schmeichel, Peter Cech kind of goalkeeper. He's young though. You know, again, he's one of our younger players and time's on his side. So I think he'll be annoyed that he didn't get anything on those. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a more positive way to look at it. I was just like, what? It just was like, has that ever happened before? You know, that's what was in my head. Like, and I wanted to go looking into it, but I ran it, you know, I just didn't get around to it.
But it was a good exciting game last Thursday. Now I'll focus on the Premier League now for Arsenal. 4-1 win over Crystal Palace on the weekend. Martinelli with that first goal. Beautiful goal. How good can Martinelli be, Milo? How good do you think he can be?
There's a lot of people in world football that speak really highly of him. Not just within and around Arsenal, other managers, both international and club management level. You know, you hear people talk about how good they think he is. I mean, his work rate is excellent. I feel like, I think I said to you guys a few weeks ago, I felt like his form dipped a little bit, and that signing of Trossard has reignited it. Now, I don't think necessarily in the way that I was predicting, in that he's like, my place is under threat, because I don't think it is. I think it's more in the fact that he's playing them together at times, and it's really working. It's giving us options. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago where, you know, if Saka has a quiet game, it's usually because the left has been terrorizing the defense, and then vice versa. You know, like this weekend against Palace were average. Let's not get it twisted, guys. Like Palace, you know, managerless, rudderless. They were pretty shit. Defensively, they were really bad. So I think, I'm not saying the scoreline flattered us, because I think we were more than capable of going out there and putting 4 goals past Palace anyway. But I think, you know, led by Vieira, I can't see it being that easy. You know, with Vieira playing against Arsenal and yada, yada, yada. Like, I think that they maybe should have waited till the international break for that move, personally.
Yeah, it was a weird one to sack him at that point. I think it was Vincent Kompany thought it was, he spoke about that. He said, he said he looked at the table and saw their 12th. I hear it's about their run of games. I see Newcastle, Chelsea, United twice, City, Brighton. Then I see Zaha being out for 4 to 5 games, and their next games are Leeds, Forest, Wolves, Everton. It doesn't sit well with me, he says. So I don't know. It is kind of a weird timing after those games to sack him, but I don't know. Cultured.
Yeah, I think they saw what happened at Nice, where he went on a bad run and then never brought it back.
Yeah.
And I think they were worried that, because the bottom of the table is so close, right? It's so close to everyone on points. I think that they probably thought we need a new manager bounce, because this is what happened at Nice with Vieira, and he couldn't recover it even when everyone was fit and they had everyone back and they'd played their hard games and they'd got their easier games in Liga. So that's what I think they did. But yeah, they looked pretty shoddy anyway. It wouldn't have been worse if they had kept Vieira.
For me, I was just, you know, happy to get that last game before the break, make sure we get 3 points. The gap is 8 points. Obviously, City have a game in hand, which, you know, as anyone that's watched the league for the last few years, you just expect City to win, right? I expect City to win. So it's all focused on our results, not on anyone they're playing. I just expect that to be a win. And that's the expectation that they've brought upon themselves with the success they've had and the money they've spent. But, you know, it's, yeah, as for one hand on the title as your category thing, look, you guys have asked me all season long. I definitely, you know, it's going to be us or City, I think. I think I'm confident. That's as much as you've heard me say. It's going to be us or City. And here's the other one. We play City at the Etihad, right? If we go there and the gap is 5 points, I'm going to assume they're going to win their game in hand. We go there and the gap is 5 points. A draw, then I think I'll utter those fateful "it's ours to lose" line words. But until
I would stick with what you've been saying.
Yeah,
I'd say stick with what you've been saying all season, and then until it's mathematically possible, don't say anything.
No, I know.
Because it'll be clipped. Someone will take it. Someone will
it's fine.
And he might be wearing a big blonde wig.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa.
But like the thing about it is, again, for me, I'm so pumped because I didn't expect this season. I think we hoped that this is what Arteta was going to build, and I do think I said to you at the start of the year, I think it's a year ahead. I think Champions League was the goal, and that, you know what, they went on a run to start the season, and it's just really it's come together, and they're playing well. And that, you know, the other thing that worries me is obviously injuries. I'm sure we'll get into that. Maybe we can segue into if you want to talk about that, Carp, we can talk about that. But
yeah, we talk about it.
The injuries to Saliba, today they're saying it could be worse than they thought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then you have to wonder, right? You got international break. He's withdrawn from the French squad. That's a positive. I mean, we'll see. I guess after the international break, we'll see.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, no, I think. But I was thinking about this today. Right? Okay, Holding played really well against Palace. Again, it was Palace, and you know their tactic is hoof it up towards Zaha, hope for the best, right? Holding dealt with that pretty magnificently the whole game, to the point where he was coming out, you know, like a good old centre back should, coming out to meet the ball, just towering header over the midfielder, and I was like, okay, this is the Rob Holding I want to see every game. It's just he had so much promise when we signed him, and he never really fulfilled it. I do think he's a good backup option, but then we also have an injury to Tomiyasu, and who can also play at centre back, left back, and right back. That's a key injury for me, Tomiyasu. That one hurts probably a little more than Saliba, because Saliba's young. Theoretically, we're going to get years of Saliba. So I'm not, I'd love him to be there during the run-in. But again, he played against City. We couldn't stop him with Saliba. Why not try with Holding if we have to? It's not really that much different. You know what I mean? Like it didn't work last time, so who knows? Maybe it'll work this time. You just never know.
Yeah, it could work. Your next match is against Leeds, which you'd expect Arsenal to be in control of that game, but I could see Holding filling in there. But then the following week you have Liverpool, and I would, if you went to Anfield with Holding instead of Saliba, that's when it would feel a little bit, is
potentially,
potentially, right? But yeah, when I saw that Saliba was injured several weeks, I immediately thought Palace, they're gonna trade the France Football Federation. We'll give you, we'll take the hit on Palace, and we get to keep him for the international break. Keep him injury free. Yeah. And I think Gabriel is also out of the Brazil squad.
He is. Yeah.
Did Martinelli did he get called up? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I didn't look at the Brazil call-up list.
Okay. So, but I think Saliba will be. Actually, I have no idea what his injury is like, but it feels like he's just being rested. That to me, I don't know. That's just,
and you know what? If that's the case, then yeah, it's fine. I mean, see, Dino there, typical Liverpool fan, coming in, giving it the big one. What is it with the Liverpool fans that come to this chat, by the way?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't think it's just the ones that come to this chat. Like
Socko is the most grounded Liverpool fan I know, I think.
And even then, he's not that grounded.
Yeah. So, here's the thing. Against Liverpool, we had a really good game with them, close game with them at our place. That game definitely is somewhat of a concern, but I love that Liverpool fans are already writing that one off as an easy game by the sounds of it. So we'll see what happens, because I think a lot of teams have made that mistake against us already this year.
Easy game for Liverpool. That's what they're saying.
That's what Dino's implying, is he not? Nothing to worry about.
Oh.
My thoughts on that against Liverpool, the players that are going to be more key are going to be Zinchenko.
Yeah, that's what I thought he meant. That's what I thought Dino meant, by the way.
Yeah.
He's saying you guys have got nothing to worry about because Liverpool are terrible.
That's what I mean.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
Dino, then I take it back. You're fine. You're the best Liverpool fan ever. You can stay. You can stay, but there are others that are good. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
Liverpool at home is tough, though.
It is. I said that the other week. That the three fixtures that jump out to me, and those aren't always the ones that you slip up on, though, right? But the three that jump out to me are Newcastle, Liverpool, and City.
Yeah.
That's three tough away games right there. It's make or break. Yeah, it could be make or break depending on what happens to City and what happens elsewhere. That's why I'm not there yet, man. Like there's too much. There's still too much to play for. We're in a really good shape. We're in really good shape.
Over a quarter of the season left to play, right? That's what I was thinking about today.
Yeah.
We have 10 games is a lot of games still. It's a lot of time.
So much can happen. I mean, having Jesus back is great. I think he looks pretty sharp to me. The movement's there, the battling's there, the tracking back's there, all the stuff that he was doing before. And we don't need goals from him. I mean, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, Xhaka, 2 goals this week as well. Just in case anyone out there hates Xhaka, you know who you are.
Yeah, he had a nice goal. From the outside looking in, Hoff and Cultured, looking at Arsenal, what do you think their weaknesses are? Like, I think if we accept that it's depth or something, like what areas do you think are vulnerable? Right? I don't know. Do you feel any? Yeah.
I think that Milo sort of touched on it, right? I think the centre back thing could be an issue, and it does come down to depth. There's nothing else than that. I think if Saliba's injury is bad, that's a huge loss. I don't think Rob Holding is top 4 level in a defender. I think he had the chance as a youngster to try and prove that. It didn't really work out, and I think their issue is not when they play teams like Liverpool or City, because I think that's when they keep it on the ground. My worry is that if they revert, and they haven't done this season, but if it's that long ball bruising horrendous team and you're playing a back 4 which isn't your first back 4, that's what I think would be the issue. But I think Arsenal will win the league now. I think it's done. I think it's pretty I can say that I'm not an Arsenal fan, but I think it's I think it would be quite a bottle job if they don't win it from now, with that being their only competition to focus on. I think it plays into what Arteta wants to do, right? He wants to rotate where he can using subs, but not rotate his first 11 unless they're injured, and I think that's crucial. So,
I mean, the game against the Europa game in the midweek, he rotated. Obviously, Jorginho came in, Fabio Vieira came in, Reece Nelson came in. Apart from that, it was kind of the starting 11. And I mean, the depth isn't fantastic, as you've pointed out. Losing Tomiyasu hurts more because he's another option for Saliba.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. And I think that's what I'm trying to get at with the point of, because you've only got the Premier League now, I think it is only 1 game a week, right? There's no double game week. Oh, you've got 1 double game week because you've got a game in hand, right? Man City that'll be a double game week.
Oh, yeah.
Week.
Yeah.
But other than that, with 1 game a week, it will give Arteta that chance to manage that squad just by substitutions, in-game substitutions, rather than having to bring in Nketiah as a starting striker to rest Jesus and things like that in those sort of games. I think and Arsenal deserve it. They've been fantastic this season. I think I'll put my name on the wall and say Arsenal are going to win it.
The dip that we had, obviously we had the City loss. There was a couple of other rough results that within that 2-week stretch. I still think the gap realistically, again, I think you have to assume City win that game in hand from yesterday or from the weekend.
Yeah.
And then the gap is 5 points. I mean, it's a less than a 6-point swing. We've seen a 6-point swing many times. I just think it's City we're talking about. Look at their squad. And in terms of I wanted to touch upon. I know, Cart, you'd mentioned talking about Ten Hag's comment.
Oh yeah.
I actually brought up the table. City have had the second to least injury concerns of any team in the league. Brighton the least.
Because Pep's a drug. He's a drug user, and he gets all his team to do it. He got done, didn't he? He got done during his playing career for.
That's true. He did.
Drug abuse. Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well. Yeah. And his physio at Barcelona got put in jail for whatever it is, doping. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, he has got a track history of it. Yeah.
And I know City have had issues this season, and I know that they have Champions League that they'd love to concentrate on that. They got the FA Cup. You know, any big defeat that they suffer may incur the wrath of the next team they play. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's all these permutations, and City are equipped to fight on multiple fronts. We are not yet, right? Our squad isn't there yet. City's squad is, I think, personally. But I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I think City's depth shows that they're equipped to, and they're used to fighting on multiple fronts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to it. Still a young team. I love what he's done this season, and I don't want it to only be this season though. You know what I mean? I want us to be fighting for the title for next year and the year after. Like, yeah. I'm not only thinking about this one, and the reason I can feel that way is because of how young they are. You can only assume that they would get better as a group. Cinzero asking where Arsenal fans are interested in the Europa League. Of course, it's another
trophy.
It's a trophy. I think belittling the Europa League is silly personally. I know a lot of people do, and they're Champions League elitists. But I think it is something I would like for us to have challenged for. But I do feel the same way as I did about the FA Cup, which, if you recall, was, given what else we've got going on, I'm not that cut up.
Yeah.
The biggest prize for winning the Europa League is what? It's a Champions League place.
Yeah.
Right.
We should be getting that anyway.
Yeah. Well, moving on to a team that is still in the Europa League, Manchester United. Big win over Betis. Well, it's pretty much dusted in the first leg. Rashford goal. He had a nice goal, but you know, for me, hasn't been great. Let's talk about those comments before that match, though. Eric Ten Hag says, until now, in one game, we had the squad available totally. That was against Manchester City. Every game, one player is suspended, one player is injured or ill. But you hope, like Arsenal, almost all the time their squad is available. I think we can all agree he's completely right. I don't know. Is there anything wrong with? Is there anything technically wrong with what he said?
I just find it odd that the man that you coin as stoic and unflappable would have to resort to talking
use the
about
example
like
of who's leading the league. I think that's a fair example.
I do think that's all he was doing, is using using the team who's winning the league. But I also have to question, like, how long was Jesus out for?
Yeah,
I mean, Arsenal have 79 games.
No.
Through injury.
Man
United have 106.
These are fake news. These like, that's counting like Kobbie Mainoo being injured.
Okay, so
or Reece Nelson being injured.
That's fine. So
talking about your first 11.
Reece Nelson counts, but United have 106. So take out their ones as well. Then, if you're going to,
absolutely. But we've had injuries to Eriksen, starter, Casemiro, starter, Martial, and Jesus. We can cancel those out. Varane's been injured a couple times.
You think Martial has the same impact on United as Jesus does on Arsenal? Then you're mistaken.
Yeah, he might have a bigger impact. Okay. When he's fit, Martial?
We're talking about the context of this season. Jesus far more influential for his team.
How and where's the proof for that? They've done just fine without Jesus.
They were doing just fine with him as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe not as impactful as you might think. Martial, on the other hand, we're going from Martial to Weghorst, bro. Like that's it. We're going from Burnley starting striker, we're going from Anthony Martial. Let's be fair, not also living up to his potential, and then going to Burnley starting striker. I think that's a bit of a drop off, and totally different style of striker as well. I don't know.
But is it not like on the manager to manage what you have there? Like we've had seasons before.
Absolutely.
We had the same fitness coach that Liverpool now have, and we had fucking tons of injuries for seasons.
No,
you just have to deal with it, don't you?
Absolutely, and this is why this is the Ten Hag's first season in charge. So he hasn't had the opportunity to get the striker he wants, and
they're just not the comments of a stoic, unflappable man of granite, or whatever it is you called him.
Well, I mean, he's being questioned about Casemiro, right? He's being questioned about Casemiro, etc. It wasn't an injury; it was a suspension, which is, it's not the same. But he's being asked about Casemiro, and he's answering about his squad. He mentioned one time against Man City he had the whole squad. Arsenal has had Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Xhaka, Partey. Partey, he had a small, I don't know where month and a half came from for Arteta, but he was injured for a couple games. Reports are that he was out against United because of the some court affairs. Okay, that's disputable.
I never heard that. The only person I heard that from is you.
Oh, I heard that from a lot of people as well.
I heard injury on the training ground that week, but it's fine.
Carl heard that from a lot of TalkSport presenters.
Yeah, probably.
I heard TalkSport doesn't stoop to that level. This is
yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Okay,
they
actually,
really do.
I'm going to talk about TalkSport real quick. TalkSport. I didn't like something Simon Jordan said this week, or last week or something.
Was it negative about Ten Hag by any chance?
No, it was negative about Ian Wright. He just took a shot at Ian Wright during the whole Lineker thing, and he was like, "Yeah, Ian Wright has never said something. He's never said something honest in his entire life, or something." He said something about him. And I was like, "Oh,
fuck Simon Jordan, man." Told you the bloke isn't.
I'm not saying fuck Simon Jordan. I'm just saying
he's a piece of shit. Tell you what, quote me, TalkSport. Simon Jordan is a cunt.
Hey man, I thought it was fair.
He's a piece of shit.
That's the first disagreeable thing I've heard him say. First.
Yeah.
I like Ian. That's just because I like Ian Wright. I don't know what. Maybe Ian Wright is full of shit half the time. I don't know. I don't think he is, but that has yet to be proven. But that did rub me the wrong way when Simon Jordan said that about him. Anyways, yeah, we've had. I would say we had more important injuries than Arsenal have had, and that's part of a league campaign, is staying fit, etc. Maybe they have better fitness throughout last season, etc. There's a lot of factors. But also Ten Hag doesn't have. We have to go from Casemiro to Scott McTominay. That's quite a drop off, when someone gets injured.
It's similar drop off as Xhaka to El Neni, perhaps, or
El Neni's been out.
Nketiah.
El Neni's been out.
But you know what I'm saying? That anyone that has to drop a player is going to go to a lesser player.
But right? Saliba, Gabriel, Odegaard, Xhaka, Partey, all these guys have been fit basically the entire season. And Saka, Martinelli. That's the core. That's the spine of your team.
Thing?
It's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, you're looking at the stats saying 79 injuries. We've had 79 injuries. But okay, but the starting 11 has been fit for most of the season. That's the point. That's the idea. It's not about the squad. It's about the starting 11 you put on the field fit. Casemiro, Eriksen, both out for Casemiro's out now, but Eriksen's out for basically the whole season. Apparently he was coming back, but I don't know how effective he'll be. That's the point he's making. Is like, I think also Liverpool. Klopp said that when Liverpool was having their injuries, he said similar things. He said, "Look at Arsenal."
So it's an excuse then. It's saying that if we had our fully fit team every week, we would be winning everything.
No, he said, "I would love to have my fully fit team like Arsenal has."
Yeah, so it's just an excuse.
No, it's a comment. It was a question, and his response is, "I would love to have a fit team, a fully fit squad to pick from." You see what the distinction is? He's not saying, "Are you?" We obviously haven't been losing. We won a lot of games, most in Europe, but we have also played close to most in Europe. But you know, there's some caveats here. You know, there's some caveats, and I love it. I love how the Arsenal we're living rent free in your guys' mind. Ten Hag is taking over.
We're living rent free in Ten Hag's mind by the fact that he brought that up in the conference.
The fact, well, he's bringing up the team that's in first place. You just look at the examples.
What do they call him, Hag or Ten? Here, Ten. Here's a press conference about Man United.
They call him Eric.
First thing he wants to talk about, Arsenal. First thing he wants to talk about. We're living rent free in his head.
Yeah, it's just not true. It's just untrue.
It is true.
You should
Let's
see
have a
Twitter
vote in the chat.
You should see the Twitter trolls.
Fuck Twitter,
Ten
dude.
Hag, Seven Hag, rent free. Tomiyasu, Jesus. Blah, blah. You know, it's like they've injured. You know, I don't know. Anyways, it's pretty funny.
Seven Hag is funny. That is funny.
It's cute. That's what it is.
Only because he's got a number in his name. Like it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've had it for years, mate. When you lot beat us 8-2, people used to say I ate to whatever, you know? Like it was like
I hate to be an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, exactly. All that.
I'm learning about all these what's it called? These fanly scuffles, you know. For me, as someone who grew up in almost like a vacuum, just like podcasts and sport without like other fans, like I recently learned that Barca and United fans don't like each other. I understand why, but it was never like a deep-seated type of thing for me. It was like, yeah, we lost to the better team all those Champions Leagues. You know, it was like very simple mathematical. Obviously I wish we won those Champions Leagues, but Arsenal on the other hand, that's from all the podcasts and all the news I took in, right? They were always talking about, oh, Arsenal are going to capitulate after Christmas, blah, 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 this, always this. That was always the, you know, that's why.
Yeah, but that's from 2006 onwards as well. Like that's a different, that's
20
era.
years, by the way, almost. That's almost, almost
19.
20 years. Yeah.
Yeah. But
it's a long time.
It is a long time.
Yeah.
But the same, you know, there's been 1 or 2 seasons where we come very, very close during that, and I mean only
absolutely.
1 or 2.
Absolutely.
But obviously, I'm aware of a far more successful era. You know what I mean? So I don't feel about it the same way as you would, which is understandable.
Yeah. Other quick points about United. We beat Fulham. Oh, barely even talked about this. Did you guys see those 3 red cards for Fulham?
Yeah.
Pretty entertaining. I thought we were losing that game easy against Fulham.
I don't think the ref should have sent off Mitrovic for that. Do you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. In today's world, that's definitely a red card. You know you're not allowed to push the ref.
It's just the ref was being so dramatic there, don't you think? Like he was.
What I will say is I don't think Mitrovic gets sent off if the ref doesn't already have the red card in his hand.
Yeah, true.
Maybe. If he hadn't already had the red card in his hand, I think he books it. Whether it would have been a second booking, I don't know. But
of course, I understand it's a red. You put your hands on the official. However, you know, when I think about that, I think about Di Canio pushing the referee over. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like it's as bad as that. Also, I saw a clip of that.
No, it's not as bad as that. But think about the tackles that used to go in that era as well. Football's changed.
No, of course. But I thought the ref was just so like dramatic. That particular, I didn't have an issue with it other than I thought that's a bit dramatic of the ref. You know.
I really want to know what Marco Silva said during VAR.
He was red. He was losing it after the game, in the press conferences and stuff. He was like, he went on and on about all the last couple games that they've been screwed by and all this stuff, and it sounded like there was a lot of frustration built up from other decisions that went against them from this ref. Was it Chris Kavanagh or or something?
Yeah, Chris Kavanagh, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, Hoff. Do you think it was a good red for Mitrovic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the guy on my Twitter timeline that posted a parlay with Mitrovic getting 1 foul or more, committing 1 foul or more, and he didn't get a chance to do that.
And last little point here about United is since playing Burnley in the Carabao Cup on December 21st, United have played 13 midweeks in a row, and there are at least 4 more to come after this international break. Brighton match and also Chelsea match have to be rearranged, plus Europa League semifinals that we might not get one midweek off for the rest of the season till the end of the year.
That's definitely something to consider with your attrition rate, etc. However, it's the price you pay for success, and it's something that we want, right? Like we want to be dealing with that issue next season.
Right.
We probably will.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else to add about the United games?
No, I don't think it was as doom and gloom as your. I was in your stream yesterday, Kurt, and you were like watching the highlights, and Fulham were better in the first half, but I don't think it was as doom and gloom as you were making out from a United point of view. I don't think we were that bad. We were always in the game, let's say, and I think when they got that man sent off, that was our time, and we pounced. So
yeah, I mean,
two men sent off, but
it just seemed like we were just with it was a McTominay, Sabitzer midfield. With McTominay in there, good, decent ball winner, you know, good work rate and everything. But the moment he's on the ball and has to play a pass forward, the drop off from Casemiro is just gigantic. Yeah. It's just massive, and that changes the way the fullbacks and center backs play. You know, the way they interact at least, and that was the most glaring thing. Not to mention, personally, this is my own thing. I'm not speaking on behalf of Manchester United fans. Marcus Rashford, man, he is still not. I thought against Fulham he started playing better. He was better creatively. He was playing exclusively on the wing. He was doing better creatively, better decision making. But his form is not, you know, we were talking about him being Mbappe level, which at the time he was putting up great numbers, but he's dropped off significantly since a certain picture that he posted. We don't have to go into that. But
you doubled down on your tweet to him.
I did double down. I did tag Cultured in it as well. I did.
I don't know why.
I'm just saying, you know, you're the first person that comes to mind when I talk about this.
My thing is, Cart, right? You just said, I don't think I've ever said Rashford's the same as Mbappe, but you just said Rashford was putting up Mbappe numbers at some point. If you put Rashford in Ligue 1, he'd probably play as good as Mbappe all season.
I don't know. I don't know.
I think he would.
He'd probably do better than the Premier League, but I don't think
players go through ups and downs. I think we're seeing the best of him. He's got a manager that believes in him. I'm just happy that he's scoring goals. So.
No, that's fine. I understand ups and downs.
I think he can have photos of whoever he likes. That's what I'm gonna say.
look at his timeline. Look at what he's posted. He hasn't posted a picture like that almost in like a year. And just in the middle of his amazing form, he's gonna post it. Like, I'm just saying, everything else has been football related. Goals or retweets from people saying, you know, talking about his stats or the game, you know. It's all been football related. Everything's been football related. And then out of the blue, when everybody's, you know, telling you're the greatest player of all time, you're going to post a picture with Lewis Hamilton out of nowhere? And then what happens the day after? You play Barcelona, you play like shit. Then you play on the Carabao Cup, you get a lucky goal, a lucky deflected goal. You still play like shit. And he continues playing like shit. And he's continued playing like shit. He had one goal against Betis, which, to be fair, he had tons of space to score that goal. Massively important goal, to be fair. So I'm giving him credit there. And then the goal against Betis in the second leg, but it was a meaningless goal, but still, it was a good goal. Other than that, he's done absolutely nothing. Every time all of his dribbles, he's looking like Martinelli on the wing. Like, he just gets the ball, loses the ball, gets the ball, loses the ball, gets the ball, loses the ball. You know, only when there's a tap-in situation. Only when there's a tap-in situation does he do anything. Anyways,
you know,
let's move on.
Seriously, I swear, Cart is auditioning for TalkSport. We just don't know it.
I think so as well. Yeah.
No. Okay. Maybe not necessarily, but I do think it's important to say, to point out that Rashford's form has dropped since that tweet. And we were talking about him being in great tweet, you know, pointing to the head, everything, you know, everything was great. And then a simple tweet where bro, have you heard of the phrase feeling yourself?
The problem is,
have you heard the phrase like, I'm feeling myself or whatever, you know?
But you're linking a photo put on social media to a downturn in form, which has absolutely no correlation whatsoever in terms of life. Prove to me
absolutely
that that's
it does.
I'm a scientist, right? I'm an engineer. No,
no, absolutely it does. When a machine is working well, and you don't change its oil, what happens?
You don't upload a photo to Instagram. I don't know what your point is. No,
I'm saying humans are a complex organism. Humans are complex, and they react to changes, or they react to situations in different ways, right? Maybe this bolt gets rusted and breaks or something, or this gear gets rusted and breaks, and boom, tweet about Lewis Hamilton. You know, like that's the equivalent. So I mean, you could look at it. We could look at it in an engineering way. The reaction of a player to having amazing form, getting crowned with the Ballon d'Or. He's the greatest player of all time. The next Mbappe. Tweet with Lewis Hamilton, the greatest racer of all time. And then boom, he's gone. His head's in the clouds. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you exactly what's happening. I'm telling.
Right. Or he's just had a really good bit of form. He met Lewis Hamilton out and went, oh my god, I want to have a photo of Lewis Hamilton, put it on Instagram, and then didn't perform well in the next game.
Okay, that's fine. But look at what he posts on Twitter. I looked through his posts on Twitter. All of his pictures. You can go to Twitter, you go to Marcus Rashford, you click media, and that's all the pictures he's posted. Find me another picture where he's talking to some other great or something. We have to go all the way back to his World Hunger, mission to find the pictures where it's non-football related. And what happened during his World Hunger phase? He played like shit, and he thought he was Cristiano Ronaldo the whole time. All I'm saying is, I don't know what it's gonna take. I hope Rashford comes to form, but I hope he gets his feet on the ground, because right now he thinks he's Lewis Hamilton, and I'm telling you this. I'm telepathic. I'm telepathic.
You're not.
No, this is the problem. You don't know what he's thinking. That's why
neither do you.
We had this discussion. No, I know I don't. I can't. I'm not saying he doesn't think he's not Lewis Hamilton. I'm not saying I'm not saying either way what I think or don't think.
I'm saying God exists. You're saying you don't know. Basically, you're saying you're agnostic. I'm saying God exists.
You're saying Rashford thinks he's as good as Lewis Hamilton in the world of football compared to what Hamilton's done in F1. I'm saying no one knows other than Rashford what he's thinking.
Okay.
What scares me is I think the only way that Kart would be happy is if Rashford was locked in a box in between games, and then when they just like at the side of the pitch, they just lift a gate and he can run out only for the game.
Yeah.
And then back in your box.
Social media. That's it. Social media. That's all I'm talking about. His social media is not okay. It's social media. That's the problem. It's social media. Look at the rest of his Twitter pictures and then get back to me. Okay, that's my wrap up homework for the week. Look at the rest. Look at the rest of Marcus Rashford's Twitter posts and tell me. And also. You tell me if, for anyone who's watched all of United's games, you tell me what his form was like before that tweet after the World Cup and after that tweet till now. And you tell me if you see any difference in his play. You tell me. I mean, there's only a small group of people that have probably seen all of his games every minute he's played. So, I mean, it's a tough ask, but... It's night and day, because I don't know. Obviously I don't know 100%, but I'm 99% sure he's getting the Billy Big Boots syndrome. Okay, the Billy Big Bootitis. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways,
that's not a real condition. I'm
99% sure. Anyways, we'll get back to other Premier League games in a minute here. But first, let's talk about El Clasico. Xavi is the first Barcelona manager to win 3 El Clasicos in 1 year since Pep Guardiola in 2011. Barcelona is now 12 points clear of Madrid. Barcelona won 2-1. Nice goal from Sergio Roberto after a kind of a freak goal from off of own goal from Ronald Araujo. Really good occasion, really good game, I thought. You know, Madrid obviously needed a win. A draw or win for Barca was fine. It looked like Barca was going to kind of ride out this 1-1 till the end of the game, but then a nice little counterattack and a nice play by Lewandowski. I don't know if you guys saw the build up to the second goal. Lewandowski had a really nice back heel and assisted or hockey assisted Balde, and the Balde crossed it in for Franck Kessié, the new signing, and he scored. Big things for me from this game is you know, you get the feeling you want to almost count out Madrid at some point, and you just can't, right? But you wonder when is their run going to come to an end? You know, maybe they're full all in on Champions League now. Maybe this will allow them to focus on that. I think top 4 is easily, you know, they're in control of top 4 in La Liga, and I think when they need to win a game here and there, they'll do it. But it's all in Champions League, which we'll talk about in a bit as well. Franck Kessié, Robert Lewandowski, big parts of that last goal. Lewandowski has been a little out of form since the World Cup, and it's kind of annoying. I don't know if you guys can think of any other players like this. Foghorn. I don't know if you guys can think of any other players like this. They, like, after Lewandowski made the play leading up to the second goal, he like activated. You know, he activated and started playing like he was like 5 years younger, and you know, sprinting, doing little jukes and stuff like that. Can you guys think of another player who does that? Because that pisses me off. Obviously, we can, you know, when players go out of form, pisses me off. But when players are clearly good players, right, and they're kind of, it's just a mentality switch, right? They're just kind of going through the motions, chilling, you know, just a lay off here, get the ball, lay off there, you know, and then just look for the ball in the box or whatever. But then the moment Lewandowski does something good, he gets some sort of confidence, and he starts, you know, playing like a madman, you know, playing like he's, you know, like he's Ronaldinho or something. And that really annoys me, because he's supposed to be a veteran player, and he's supposed to, you know, that's what you kind of hope a veteran to be, is consistently good all the time, not kind of up and down like other people who like to post pictures with, you know, Lewis Hamilton. That's another thing for Rashford. He's got time on his side. He's young, 24. You know, maybe he'll figure this out by the time he's supposed to be in form like other people. But anyways, I don't know. Can you think of another player who goes in and out of form as much? We can take Rashford for example, but maybe you guys didn't see the Lewandowski's performance in the game. He kind of, I don't know. He's just been playing so poorly. And he had one good goal involvement, and now he's playing like he's Ronaldinho. I don't know if you guys can think of any players like that. It's not a trivia question, but you know, it is. I don't know.
No one springs to mind, really.
Yeah, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Maybe Ronaldo. Yeah.
At the end of his career.
Maybe. He's probably definitely doing that in Saudi Arabia.
Did you see his goal this weekend?
I heard about it. Some free kick, right?
Yeah, he scored through the wall, though. The wall split open.
So it wasn't a wall then?
Maybe, like, when he scores, like, he distributes all of the money he would earn for that, you know, 10 seconds when he had the ball to everyone on the pitch, and they're just, you know, set for life or whatever. What is he making, like, 5,000 euro per second or something?
Something
Anyways.
crazy.
Yeah.
He's living the dream, man. He's the best player in the league.
What did Greg say? I haven't had chat open this whole time. Sorry, guys. Berbatov. Yeah, Berbatov.
Nah, Berbatov was just always languid and looked lazy. I think.
Yeah.
Even on form, he looked that way. Whereas Lewandowski, I think
that was just his.
His play style, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But
yeah.
Does that frustrate you guys? Like when players are just like, I don't know. from a veteran, you expect them to be like kind of leaders, like you expect them to be Milners, you know, like you want, you know, like just work hard all the time, but then they don't, and it's like, what are you doing? This like.
Okay, well, would you rather have James Milner or Robert Lewandowski in your squad? You'd rather have Robert Lewandowski, right?
Yeah. Okay. I'll try. I won't force myself to argue that one, which I could. Depends on, you know, if you have Haaland in your team.
You'll be massively on the losing end.
If you have Haaland on your team, you don't need James Milner. I mean, you don't need Lewandowski. You just need You just need a bunch of James Milners. Win the ball, hoof it into the 6-yard box. That's the Haaland game plan. The tactical genius that is Pep. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. Good Clásico. I think Barca are well on their way to winning La Liga. They have the Supercopa second leg, which they're 1-0 ahead. Second leg coming up for that, so they're in the cup and Madrid are in the cup and the Champions League. Let's talk a little bit more about the Champions League, though.
Quick about
go for it.
That Araujo own goal, I believe, was the first. I heard it on a podcast and I didn't check it because I believe the people I listen to. I'm an American, damn it. They said that Araujo own goal was the first own goal in a league El Clasico this century.
Oh wow.
So I thought that was kind of, because they've obviously played like in the Champions League and the Copa del Rey, things like that. But as far as La Liga El Clasico, that was the first own goal in 23 years so far.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, it's good quality games. Clásico. You're seeing both teams kind of play this kind of almost park the bus style game, you know. It's almost turning into like a basketball game sometimes, you know. Just like one team goes back on defense, the other team brings it in from midfield, you know, half court basketball or something. But yeah, good stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the draw, guys. In chat, exclamation point predict. We have a little prediction game going, a wrap-up show prediction game. I'll type it in here. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Hoff. Gotcha. We have the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League. Make your predictions. Make sure you put some sort of name or somehow we know it's you in the title. Pretty fun. We'll see what happens. Everything closes, you know, the day of the first match. So you know, we'll have some fun. See who has the best predictions. Predictions should be hidden, and the Monday before the Champions League, we'll look at everybody's prediction during the show. So we'll see what everyone has predicted, and maybe we'll lock the predictions at that time. We'll open them up. We'll take a look at them, and we can talk that. But yeah, speaking of the draw, let's talk a little bit about the draw. One side is we have Madrid, Chelsea, City, Bayern. The other side, Inter, Benfica, Milan, Napoli. I thought this is a pretty fun draw. What are you guys' thoughts on the draw?
I'm excited for Napoli.
Yeah. Napoli are my pick for the trophy. I think they're going to do the double.
I'd love it if they did. I would love it.
Yeah.
Anyone, but you know who.
I mean, I think a Bayern, the problem that they were, probably not. Half your best position to answer that, I think.
Yeah, and I just read like today that Musiala tore his hamstring. So that's like their most creative player. Like he pulled out of the German camp with I don't know if that, So that, I think that makes it a little easier for City. As far as that tie goes, I was a little disappointed to see all the Italian teams together and then the two English teams together. I kind of wanted to see it more mixed before the semis, but
yeah.
I mean, I'd tell you what, all Milan semi would be so effing spicy. But I think Napoli are too strong for any other team in Italy, and they're showing that with their league form.
Could this be the first Champions League draw that was not rigged? You know,
will we ever know that?
You know, we've got like this is the most like lopsided draw you could ever have. You know, like this is horrible for TV. You know, you want those teams on the left dispersed throughout the competition. Though Napoli's big too. I mean, they're all big teams. Okay, they're all big teams. Okay, every team is big, obviously. I'm just saying, you know, you want those giants distributed around the play. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm not going to ask you guys your predictions now on the spot, but you know, it's pretty important stuff. Here we can talk a little bit about Manchester City, though. They had a big 7-0 victory over Leipzig. 5 from Erling Haaland. Haaland scored 5 goals in 57 minutes. It took Messi 84 minutes and Luis Adriano 82 minutes to score 5 goals against Leverkusen and Bate Borisov, respectively, in the Champions League, which is pretty amazing. Haaland also this week breaks the club record for most goals scored in a single season. It's only March. Pretty crazy stuff. I got a quick trivia for you guys. Haaland now has more hat-tricks in all competitions this season than every other Premier League player combined, which is 5. So he has 6. There's 5 other players who have a hat-trick. Can you name those 5 players?
Thierry Henry.
No. This season.
Oh, this season.
Mo Salah has 1. True.
Son has 1.
Who?
Son
has 1. Yep. There's 3 more.
Yep.
1 is Trossard. Yes, nice chat. Yes, Trossard is correct.
For Brighton, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is for Brighton.
There is someone who's in a bit of hot water with the law.
Tony have 1?
Tony has 1. Ivan Toney. Okay. And the final one is a very extreme player. Extreme. Extreme hat trick, 5,000.
Alvarez.
Extreme beast, 5,000.
Grealish, Foden.
Foden.
It's
Foden.
Yeah, Alvarez wouldn't have got one because he doesn't play enough. Poor bastard.
It's crazy, and he's getting a new contract as well.
Poor little bugger.
City trounced Burnley, and they are into the semifinals. They'll be playing Sheffield. After the Champions League game, the overconfident Pep Guardiola says, "I have 3 heroes in life: Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, and Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts came to Manchester. She didn't come to see us. Even if I win the Champions League, I will be a failure because of the disappointment of Julia Roberts going to United." I mean,
what the fuck is he on about?
I don't know what he's talking about, man.
The thing is, I understand you questioning it, but I can't help but think that if Ten Hag said that, you'd be waxing lyrical about it being some.
Okay, if he says that, for that show, not if he says that, if he like, okay, if he says something as outrageous as this, and I'll be reasonable, I will call him Eric. Goals conceded versus Liverpool Hag, you know.
Okay.
I will call him that whole show. I will call him that.
Okay.
He would not get to this level of arrogance.
The pregame press conference that Conte had, he had mentioned, like, I think he was asked about it, but he had brought up that Julia Roberts came to visit when he was at Chelsea as well.
Right.
I just like
Conte brought it up.
It kind of became a running joke everywhere.
All right, before we get into our first quiz of the night, other things I had listed here. Liverpool have been eliminated from the Champions League 4 times in 6 seasons by Real Madrid, and the one time they won it, and then the other time Atletico Madrid eliminated them. Pretty crazy stuff. Liverpool, they didn't play this weekend, but it'll be interesting to see where they go. It's going to be a top 4 battle, I think. It's like I said, United is not. It's not easy. It's not straightforward for United top 4. I don't think. You know, I think we will 100% drop points. So it's going to be interesting to see how we recover and whatnot. This is Napoli's first time in the quarterfinals. By the way, I didn't know that. First ever time in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Interesting news from Munich. Julian Nagelsmann says, "We have a snitch in the locker room. This bothers me a lot. Whoever is doing this is hurting every single one of us. I don't understand this motivation except helping the opponent." Did you guys see this? Tactic sheets for the match against Bochum were leaked online, where it showed their offensive formation. His offensive formation was 3-1-5-1, and then they showed their defensive or their build up from the goalkeeper, build up out of the back formation, and their defensive formation as well. I thought it was pretty interesting, honestly. But yeah, apparently there's someone leaking stuff out of the dressing room in Munich. Pretty.
Find out who he's pissed off, and it'll be that person.
Right? Yeah, probably. It's interesting to see, though. It's kind of entertaining, informative, the way they break things down. Last little thing I have here is Papu Gomez paid a witch doctor. This is the Argentinian international player. He paid a witch doctor to slow down Lo Celso's recovery so that he would have a spot in the Argentine World Cup roster. This is the true reason why Papu Gomez will not be present during the World Cup winners' celebratory friendlies in the upcoming weeks. Have you guys ever paid a witch doctor for any reason?
I wouldn't know where to find one.
Define witch doctor.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like me going down and how the classic hands on the bed prayer before you go to bed. Like if I'm saying, okay, Giovanni Lo Celso, please don't get healthy so I can play in the World Cup. How's that different than hiring a witch doctor? Really, at the end of the day,
Yeah, it's true. Do you remember? That reminds me, Culture. Do you remember when Beckham did his metatarsal? And
and it was
Uri Geller put it on the newspaper, and he wanted the whole nation to stare at the picture of Beckham's
Everyone
foot.
touched the picture at the same time.
What?
To make his foot get better in time for the World Cup.
Jesus Christ.
It was hilarious, dude.
Maybe someone paid the witch doctor for Rashford's form. Oh my God. That's good.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton apparently is
That's
the
good.
witch doctor.
Now, you know what it really is? It's Twitter. It's social media. Okay, no, I listened to, who Sam Harris is? Have you guys heard of Sam Harris? He's like a modern day philosopher type of guy. He was just talking about how his experience on Twitter. He didn't like it.
Brutal.
He thought it was net negative. But Rashford is Elon Musk has done it again, Elon Musk. All right, guys, anything else you want to add? Or can we get into this trivia?
Yeah, I'm just going to...
Yeah, go for it.
Serie A, Napoli...
Oh, yes, of course, sorry.
Serie A, Napoli, 19 points clear. Now, 19. Yeah, it's just no way back. The only other two things for Serie A this week, Juve sneaking a 1-0 win away at Inter. So Juve back up to 7th now in their quest for redemption from the points deficit. Obviously, it's easy to forget that they had that points deficit a few months ago, Like they're already back into 7th and are climbing. And then in the Rome derby, Lazio 1, Roma 0. Pretty spicy game as always. Red card for Ibanez. Lazio ended up taking the lead. Roma leveled, it was disallowed, and then 2 players got sent off after the final whistle. It got a bit emotional out there.
Yeah, Napoli, 19 points clear, 11 games left. So if we do some math, that's now 33.
So
14?
That to me is the definition of if they don't win it, they've bottled it.
Right.
Yeah.
And apparently their goal difference is something like the places 2nd to 6th combined. They have a better goal difference than all of them combined.
Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia they're just playing so well together. But if you watch the highlights of that game, if you have a chance, watch it. Kvaratskhelia wins and scores a penalty, fine. But it's his unselfishness when he could easily... There was a couple of places where he picked up the ball, and even like Odegaard, who loves a pass, I think would have shot in both of the occasions, and he just rolls it to Osimhen or rolls it to another player for an easy bang in, Like just very unselfish player as well as highly skillful. and he's going to be highly sought after as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hoff, anything in Germany? I think what Bayern lost. I think or.
Yeah, Bayern lost 2-1 to Leverkusen. Xabi Alonso. Xabi Alonso is actually doing a really good job because they were looking real bad at the beginning of the season. Yeah, they had Leverkusen had 2 penalties, and actually that moved Munich down to second because Dortmund absolutely shat upon Cologne. They beat them 6-1. It was just. Yeah, it was bad. And my personal good news, Hoffenheimer off of the bottom, out of the relegation zone for this week. They beat Hertha 3-1 in the relegations. And actually, Leipzig got upset. Leipzig struggled lately, but Bochum beat them 1-0. So they're definitely, I would say they're out of the title race. They're probably still looking good for a top 4 spot if they can regain their form.
Do you have family connections to Hoffenheim by any chance?
So I did the what's it called?
23andMe?
Ancestry.com.
Oh, okay.
Just I didn't do the DNA or anything. I just did like the family tree. And the Hoff name actually goes back to that area of
cool.
Germany. And I also actually it goes into that area of Germany by way of Brazil, which is really cool. I had no idea about that. There were some German immigrants that had moved to Brazil that were in my lineage.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yes, it does kind of.
Nice. Very cool. Well, let's move on to our first quiz of the evening for the panel, guys. This is going to test all of your... It's going to take all your skills, mental skills.
Do I need a pen?
Probably not. Not for this one, probably.
Oh, okay.
You sure?
You guys get to work together. That's how hard this is. You guys have to have to get a bunch, and chat, you can help too. It's everyone. Everyone gets to help. This is the question. Which brothers have played for their respective national teams? You just have to name one of the brothers. Okay, I have a list of the top 2. So this list is the top 200 overall caps between the brothers for their respective national teams.
Gary Neville.
Phil Neville, Gary Neville, correct. That is 1 point.
Jack Charlton and Bobby Charlton. Jack Charlton and Bobby Charlton.
Hold on. Charlton. Yes. All right. Yeah. Jack and Bobby. That's 2. They're in the top 200.
Granit and Torben Xhaka.
Granit. Yes. Granit and Toulon. Toulon Xhaka.
The Hazards.
Wait, how many? What do we have? 3? 4? The Hazards 5? Wait. And then Boateng brothers in chat.
Frank and Ronald de Boer.
Frank and Ronald de Boer. De Boer. Very nice. I mean, I guess I could have made this a competition, but Milo, you're winning, I guess.
Do the Boateng brothers count? Because they played on different national team.
They played for their respective national team. Okay. There's some very interesting ones I saw in here.
The Hernandezes for France?
Hold on, we got Rafael.
No, they're not brothers, are they?
Hernandez brothers? Yeah. Yeah, they're brothers.
Yeah, they. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yep,
Theo.
every day.
They are not in the top 200, though.
Okay. I mean, they've just started getting...
Oh, yeah, I guess they just started. Fabio.
The Ayus. Jordan and Andre Ayew.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Good one.
Oh, the Silva brothers are not in the top 200. They have to be the top 200 total caps.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Not in the top 200. I mean, this list is crazy, but
Sheesh.
yeah. I mean, I don't know how many you guys have so far, but
the Koemans.
The Koemans.
Ooh.
Yes, Ronald and Erwin.
Mm-hmm.
Totaling Ronald with 78, Erwin with 31.
Oh, Toure.
The Toure brothers.
Oh, yeah.
These are the top.
Toure.
That's number 2. They have total of 215 caps. Yaya with 97, Kolo with 118. Pretty good stuff. Yeah, if you can get the other, let's see. Oh, the Ayus are number 5 with 200 on the dot.
I mean, this is a stab in the dark.
Yeah.
There's so many of them.
There's
the
tons.
Dembélés.
no Dembele's in the top 200.
Nice.
Unbelievable.
The top 200.
There are a lot. Yeah.
Oh, the
There's
Hazard
a lot
brothers
of
were
them.
14, by the way. Well, Torgan with 47, Hazard with, Eden with 126. The Smiths. Let's see if they're the Smiths. No Smiths. No Smiths. Yeah. Let's see. There's some real. Oh, there's one that one of them played for United. Not necessarily for England though, but they are British-ish.
The Fletchers.
No, not the Fletchers. The both of them played in the youth system for United. The Bender brothers. Let's see, are they on the top? No, they're not in the top
that's
200.
A good, really?
They're not top 200.
Huh.
We've done the Nevilles, Greg. That was the first or second name, I think.
Yeah, you got the Nevilles.
Yeah.
All right, four left. I think you have about 12 so far, or I think 14 right now.
Oh no.
Did you know that Sergio Ramos has a brother?
No.
That didn't play football.
Rene Ramos played right back for El Salvador with 1 cap.
Ah.
So Sergio Ramos has 180 caps.
Is he
His
on
brother
the list?
he's on the list. They're number 11. Ramos played 180 times.
Cultured
Carry.
Romanian brothers.
Cannavaro is on the list. Paolo Cannavaro and Fabio Cannavaro. Wait, but
Inzaghi's, yeah.
Inzaghi's.
Filippo and Simeone.
Yeah.
Good one.
Inzaghi's, yep. Inzaghi, yes.
They're good, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
Did we say
they played, but they are not in the top 200. But I know for a fact they did play.
Did we say Thiago and Rafinha?
Ah, yes, Thiago. Oh wait, where's Thiago? I thought I saw him on here. Alcantara. I guess they're not top 200, but that is correct. They are. They were both.
I'm trying to get the answer that Carter's given me a hint to. The Man United brothers. One of them didn't play for Man United.
Here's another one.
And not English, so Scottish or Welsh.
Well, I'll give you a clue. They're Northern Irish.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
Edison Cavani has a brother. Walter Guglielmone. He played center forward for Uruguay.
Did Anton Ferdinand ever get a cap?
Ah, that's a good question.
Oh,
Anton
the Ferdinands, yeah.
Ferdinand. Well, okay, they're not on the list. No, I guess not. I guess he didn't get a cap.
I don't think Antoine ever did.
Yeah, I don't think he did. What? They're both still playing, by the way. The Northern Irish.
Militos.
Militos. Oh yeah, should be on there. Okay, it's not on there. Now I'm questioning my list. Milito. Maybe they didn't play enough for the national team.
Tony Cruz's brother play. I don't know if he played for Germany though.
Gabriel Milito. So Diego had 25. Gabriel had 42. Yeah, so they're just outside. I think the lowest is on this list is almost 100.
Northern Irish Man United player. Johnny Evans was Irish.
Okay, that's right. That's right. It's Johnny Evans.
What, Johnny Evans?
Yeah, it says Northern Ireland here.
Yeah, he is Northern Irish. No, is he?
Evans. Yeah, it says Northern Ireland. 91 caps for Northern Ireland. And Corey Evans.
Oh, Corey Evans. Yeah.
That's his brother. Yeah.
Never.
I mean, there's a lot of names here. I'm just gonna read a couple of them for you guys. Solomon Kalou and Bonaventure Kalou.
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a brother. John Arne Riise and Bjorn Elge Riise.
Okay.
You said Granit Xhaka already. Cannavaro's you guys got. Oh, Traore would have been a good guess, you know. Bertrand Traore and Alain Traore.
The Russian twins. Berezutski.
Oh, the Berezutski twins, yeah.
I don't know how to spell that, but
BEZ and then a load of Russian.
It'll be there. BEZ. Yeah, it's somewhere in there. We have a Hleb. There's Hleb brothers as well. Anyways, it's all happening. There's a lot of people you didn't know had brothers have brothers. You know, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And not even like club, national team stuff. All right, let's get ready for the quiz here. Let's see. Palacios.
Are the Dos Santos brothers on there?
They should be.
Yeah. Oh, Lukaku's, yeah.
Lukaku's. We said the IUs.
Yeah, I would think the Dos Santoses are definitely on there.
Rashford have a brother? Oh, the Pogbas.
Oh.
Paul Pogba for France, and then Florentin Pogba for Guinea. Alton Top. Remember the Alton Tops?
Yep.
Yeah, Hamit.
For Turkey.
Hamit
Alton Top.
Hamit Alton Top.
I think Halil was his brother.
His brother is... Maybe was, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Halil, yep. Halil. All right, guys, get ready for the quiz. It's a random quiz today. This quiz is 6 questions of the most random quiz questions.
This is on your screens, by the way.
This is on the screen, guys. On the screen, winner gets all the points. And
when you say random, is it still football related?
It is football related.
Okay.
It is football related. Okay,
How
here we
many
go.
selfies has Marcus Rashford taken?
Oh my god.
Famous people.
Unbelievable. It's low. That's my point. The answer is low. It's very low, and it just somehow, when he's having the best form of his career. Okay.
I don't want to prove Cartwright cultured, but I had a look at Bukayo Saka's Instagram. Not one famous person in a picture with him.
But yeah, he still missed a penalty in the Euros, so you can't equate Instagram pictures to form. So.
Oh, well, so did
my
Rashford.
Point is proven with another bit of evidence.
Well, so did Rashford. Rashford did too. No, but see, that is football related. Missing a penalty is football related. Posting a picture with an all-time great on a public...
Yeah, you didn't listen to what I said, Cart. It's fine.
What did you say?
I said Saka not posting a picture has still made him miss a penalty. So there's no correlation between posting or not posting to what happens in a football match.
No, form.
We're not getting into it. Let's do the quiz. I need to get back to work.
It doesn't correlate with form. It correlates, and it doesn't correlate with moments. It correlates with form, mentality.
Harry Kane
Saga has better mentality.
With Prince William, so he's going to be the king one day.
Oh, I forgot. Speaking of pictures, someone posted a video. It could have been a lookalike, but it looked a lot like Conte was flying Ryanair.
I saw that.
I saw that as well.
Like, seems a bit odd considering how much money he made.
And how much he's gonna make this week.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a bag of cash.
Yeah.
All right, do you guys have the quiz up? Is it working for you guys? Okay. Are you ready for the first question?
2% chance.
2% chance the quiz is wrong. Yes. Okay, here we go. First question is, who is credited with brokering a ceasefire in his home country that brought a 5-year civil war to an end? Was it Samuel Eto'o, Dejan Stankovic, Didier Drogba, or Sir Phil Jones?
That is 24,083 points in the bag for me.
Oh my god.
Off to a cracking start.
Oh my god. The correct answer is Didier Drogba.
Yes.
I thought I could throw some people off with Samuel Eto'o.
I thought it was Eto'o because he loves himself. And I thought that was why.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Here we go. Blank's deal with Coca-Cola ended after he was caught sipping a Pepsi in a news conference. Was it Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, David Beckham, or Ronaldinho? whose deal with Coca-Cola ended after he was caught sipping a Pepsi in a news conference? Any idea?
Marcus Rashford.
I've guessed.
Marcus. All my comments about Rashford come from a place of love. And he's my number 10. He's my team's number 10. I need him to do well. That's the problem. We put all our... Okay, here we go. We put all our... Okay, here we go. Next. Correct answer is Ronaldinho.
Oh, yes.
Ronaldinho.
I got that one as well.
Oh, nice one. Nice one. All right. Ronaldinho. Next question. How many countries are part of FIFA? 198, 203, 209, or 211? The quiz I got this from was what has more countries, the UN or FIFA? I thought that was pretty funny. Well, isn't it? It's pretty clear, right? FIFA's got to have more than the UN. Actually, I don't know actually now. Anyways, what do you guys think the answer is? This is kind of a shot in the dark.
Yeah, I left it till the last minute to not lose a lot of points.
Right.
I had to take an early guess because I need points if I'm going to stand a chance.
I did as well.
We'll look at the scores after this. This is the mid mark through 7 periods of the game. We'll be through 7 periods of 14, obviously. We break it down a little differently here on the show. All right, the correct answer, 211. Wow, some people got that right.
Come on.
Wow. Wow. All right, let's take a quick look at the scores here. Quick look at the scores.
I'm not doing very well tonight.
Oh, contestant 3 and Cultured leading the group right now.
Yeah, I've been too conservative.
Okay.
I'm third with minus 18,600 points.
All right, next question is a blank became the youngest professional football player after being signed by a Belgian club. Yet to be born child of Paolo Maldini, a 3.5-year-old child, 6-year-old boy, 20-month-year-old baby. The youngest professional football player ever.
I feel like I've guessed an answer, but I feel like it can't be yet to be born child of Paolo Maldini.
Yeah, I think that was kind of a throwaway. That was just
because he's already got a child, and we would have known about it.
Well, it could have been. Oh, that's true.
No, because it would have said right. Daniel Maldini is playing, and he was signed as before he was even born.
Right.
A 20-month-old baby.
A 20-month-year-old baby. Isn't that crazy?
What?
I don't know who the baby
ridiculous.
was, but they were signed to a professional football contract.
Milo, how old are the twins?
They are approaching 10 months, so I've got time.
Get them signed up, mate. Get them signed up. Vancouver Whitecaps.
Well, no, anyone but them, please.
All right, here we go. Next question. The original 2014 World Cup ball was produced in... Was it Thailand, India, China, or Pakistan? The original 2014 World Cup's ball.
Not Tottenham Cinzero either. Yeah, good point.
Not Tottenham.
Imagine if my twins were so good at football and Tottenham were the only team that wanted to sign them.
Oh, wow.
Change your job.
What would I do?
You got to do it.
Just kick them out of the house.
Do it.
Just kick them out of the house.
Just like hire a witch doctor or something. They'll help you figure it out. Correct answer is Pakistan.
Oh god, I haven't got. I got one right so far tonight. Thank you, Ronaldinho.
It was a random quiz. It's very random. In fact, right when I finished the quiz is when we had 1 hour left on the show. I was like, "What?" That's when I was like, "Time flew," or till the show. Hoff has taken the lead. Oh my goodness.
No,
Oh no,
no,
that was
I
not. Sorry.
I got that question right.
Oh my God, contestant 3 is destroying it right now. Who is contestant 3?
Have we got the sus noise effect, sound effect?
It's
True.
Google McClay back.
Yeah.
It's Extreme Google. He's just not in the chat.
All right, we have our final question. It's over, basically.
Is there a way to? You know what you should do? See if there's a way to make it so the final question is worth like triple the points or something.
Yeah, that would be cool. All right, here we go. The fastest goal in the history of El Clasico was after 21 seconds by blank on December 10th, 2011. Lionel Messi, Alexis Sanchez, Karim Benzema, or Angel Di Maria. All these players played in that game. Started as well.
I need contestant 3 to have a meltdown.
Big swing. We need a big swing from the points here. Any ideas, guys? Well,
Benzema.
You think it's Benzema?
Stab at Sanchez.
Sanchez?
I guess Sanchez.
Sanchez. One of you is correct. Well,
I didn't know that, by the way. I guessed Benzema.
Some of you are correct. Karim Benzema is the correct answer.
Ooh.
Karim Benzema is the
contestant
correct
3 is
answer.
the other person that got that right.
Who's contestant 3? Show final results.
Name yourself, Googler.
Contestant 3 has got it. Cultured, you were... Oh, you both got it right.
Yeah.
But contestant 3 took a long time to answer. Well done, contestant 3.
Jeez.
Whoever you may be.
Contestant 3 is the winner.
Yeah. All right, well, that's the quiz.
Prize, so I win it by default.
Yeah, you get all the points. You get all the points. It might be you. I think it was you, Sin. Nice one. Nice one.
Could be. Well done, if so.
Well done. Okay, guys. To wrap it up tonight, if you were God, suppose you are God on the clouds. If you were,
Football
maybe
god, yeah.
Football God.
Not just.
I mean, God, or yeah.
There's a lot of things we could fix if we were an actual god.
You can change one thing about club football. What would it be? If you could
Just
change
club
one
football.
thing. Well, yeah, let's just stick with club football, not national team football.
No cheating at all. Diving, or like cheating of any kind.
Now,
At all.
then that's because I was
Hold
going
on.
to say fix the handball rule, but then that's only
Okay.
at club football, which means at international level you can still cheat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't really specify here. Yeah, but that's not really a rule change. Okay,
rid
sorry,
of
it has to be a rule change. Not like a quality of, oh, get rid of Pep. No money in
Rule change.
football.
Either a cap on wages or a distinct cap on agent fees.
Yeah, I was going to say a salary cap would be my other answer.
Oh, really? What happened, Hoff?
Had.
What? Oh, you're
I
cutting.
had wage cap.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was like, something happened. I was like,
no,
what the
I was
hell?
just excited because I didn't want to go first because I thought I was just gonna get, oh, that's such an American thing.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
That's the first thing I thought when Cultured said that. I was like, if
Yeah,
Americans
I'm
said
probably-
that, forget about it. Forget about it.
I'm probably leaning more towards capping agent fees because that is then money.
Oh, now
leaving
you're
the-
okay.
leaving
Now
the
we're going to.
sport to people that have no involvement in actual football.
Okay.
Now we're
Whereas
going
wages
to.
is
Yes.
going to people that play the game. So.
I've been a big fan of American sports for a long time. I think the cap, in theory, is a good way to ensure some, you're less likely to get domination, right?
Yeah.
But then teams find ways to still be somewhat successful regularly with trades and drafts and all the rest of it, right? But
Well,
And
how
they have the
about-
luxury tax, right? They have the luxury tax. If you go over the cap, you have to pay a tax to the rest of the clubs.
like a baseball salary cap, because it's a little different than football. It's like a soft cap, where you can go up to, well, let's just say for argument's sake, 100 million a year. If you go 100 and if you're paying your guys 150 million, that 50 million is taxed, and then it's spread out to all the other teams to use how they see fit.
Luxury tax, right? That's what it's called.
What about, right, taking another, sort of like the draft in American sports, but you say in the Premier League, the team that finishes first is only allowed to sign 2 players, and then you double it for every team below them. So the bottom team can sign up to 30, for example.
Jesus.
But the team that win the league have to have their exact squad other than 2 new signings or 1 new signing. That would really make it difficult, wouldn't it? Like Man City could only have signed Haaland or Alvarez, which means Alvarez is free to move somewhere else.
I mean, I would say...
How does that work with your academies and stuff, though? Or how would that work?
Yeah, I haven't thought that through. It's not going to
So
happen,
they get first dibs, basically. You could say like top 2 get 2 signings. Top, the following 4 teams get 3 signings. Following 6 teams get
league winner gets
5,
1, and then the rest of the top 4 get 2. The Europa League gets 3, if they want to.
But then the league leader should get first dibs on signing whoever. Because what if Messi is not available, and then, another team picks him up, or another team, or they already make their signing, and then, I think what you want is a draft. I think that's ultimately what you want. Yeah,
I do love the draft. Yeah,
all right, now you've gone too far. Now I don't want to draft.
Think about it. Bukayo Saka, before he signs a professional contract with Arsenal, right? He goes to the draft, and he could end up at Burnley.
And then he would be shit playing for Sean Dyche.
But the pyramid does mess it up.
Yeah.
The pyramid does mess it up.
Anyway.
I think that'd be interesting. I haven't really thought about it. I still haven't thought about it as I'm saying what I'm saying right now. What I would change in football is the thing I dislike the most about football these days is the time and referee decisions. I would crack down on referee decisions and make it the most foghorn me. That I would make it the most attack-oriented kind of situation, to where we're seeing 10 goals per game potentially, and that would save football.
That is so American.
Yeah, that was. No, I really haven't thought about it.
4 more points.
I thought about asking the question. I never really thought about answering the question.
That's right.
Let's see. What would be? I don't know. I'll think about it. Anyways, guys, anything else this week? F1 happened last weekend. Playoffs in NBA. We're getting close to the NBA playoffs. Obviously, the international break. We'll have to figure out something to do next week. I don't know what we'll do.
Football Manager.
Yeah, maybe we'll just do Football Manager the whole time.
Let's actually just play Football Manager.
Yeah, let's just do it the whole time.
Yeah.
We'll do Football Manager next week, because there's going to be no news. And if there's any news, we can talk about it.
And we need to spend a good chunk on it anyway, because we've missed it for a few weeks now, and I'm desperate. I'm coming off a 5-0 defeat at West Ham. I'm desperate to get
I'll lead with the Conte news, and then we can play Football Manager.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll I'm sure. You think Conte will be here?
No.
I think he stays.
What? I don't think. If he's here on the show, let's not play Football Manager.
And
yeah.
I don't think they'll take the financial risk of firing him.
I don't think it's that much.
You never know. For some reason, I feel like he's gonna stay.
Beyond this season?
I don't believe that. Nah, I'm just.
Oh, okay.
That was a bit of a doomer comment, just trying to, put the fear into the Spurs fans. Something.
I have no soul left, so it's okay.
Alrighty. Anything else you guys want to add? Any
F1.
F1.
I'm a little concerned.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned about how, like, I know we saw it with the hybrid area, how dominant Mercedes were, but teams were catching up year on year on year.
Yeah,
I just think the frightening thing about the Red Bull at the moment is that they were holding back this weekend. They weren't even going all out, and they were so much faster than everyone. And it's sorry, Culture. The FIA obviously they've said, and the owners of F1 have said repeatedly, like we've got to do what it takes to get the teams closer together. But just when they start getting them together, they revert to a whole new set of regs and go ground effect. And Red Bull have the man that knows the ground effect aero system better than anyone in the paddock in Adrian Newey, and it's plain to see. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed, and it's not just about who's winning. The thing that stood out for me the most, obviously I race a lot, right? I sim race a lot. I look at the timing boards. At the end of that race, for the last 8 laps, there was 1.5 battles, because one of them was over within 2 of those laps. 1.5 battles in the field within 1 second of each other. That is abysmal. It was like 4 seconds, 7 seconds, 12 seconds. Like, the gaps in the field are a massive problem, and they're going to have to fix it, or they're going to lose a lot of viewers this year, I think.
I agree. And this kind of goes to the rule change, right? This is basically a salary cap situation. You know, like how do you make it more competitive? You just give everyone the same exact car. Be like, all right, you can change certain things about it, but you give everyone the same car.
It's not F1 though. That's the problem. The only way they could do it is give the teams the exact same money and the exact same testing time. I mean, Culture, what were you going to say? Please interject.
Oh no, I was just going to say I found it funny how so Lewis Hamilton has said, he came out and said, didn't he? He's like, when we had a fast car, we weren't this fast. And Toto, standing next to him, then went, no, that's not true. When we were fast, we were really fast. It's just that everyone caught us up quicker, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Like they had those 2 seasons where they were just absolutely, everyone knew a Mercedes was going to win the race. It just depended which one. And then after those 2 years, everyone caught up. But that's what they're trying to do with these limits on, you know, the winner gets less testing time and the winner gets less money.
It's not working though.
Once you're that far ahead, it doesn't matter.
And not to mention Red Bull went over the cost cap and got a penalty that means nothing to their car. Because the penalty they got was less wind tunnel time, right? But the rule change went to ground effect. So they didn't need as much wind tunnel time because it's simple. You just push the car down as much as humanly possible. They don't need wind tunnel time to test that.
Do you think? Now I'm just talking from. Okay, I understand the testing, everything is a whole aspect of it. But do you think like Verstappen enjoys winning like this? Like at the end of the day, or don't you think people will be like, yeah, but that year they had the best car, easy, you know, or something like that?
There will always be an element of the fan base. The same people would talk about it with Lewis, but those 2 years that Culture's referring to with Mercedes, at least Rosberg was fighting him almost every step of the way. Culture, I think, right? Mm-hmm. Like Rosberg fought him, and obviously ended up beating him on the 3rd or 4th go around or whatever. So it's definitely, there's an element of that, and it will be divided on how you feel about it. I just want to see all the teams. You know, the chances of a random team popping up. We're basically hoping that a Red Bull crashes every week or breaks down.
Yeah.
It's the only way we're going to see someone else.
I enjoy tuning in for the start, you know? Something happens. Yeah. And then maybe around the first pits, you know, something maybe happens. Obviously, if there's now, even safety cars become more exciting and stuff like that now. Because it feels like, I don't know if it's actually happening, but it feels like the pack gets kind of pushed together a little bit. I don't know if that's true, actually. That might be completely untrue. Whenever things happen to bring the pack together is kind of exciting, but after the beginning and, you know, a couple battles here and there, if I've got, you know, football's on at the same time, it's like I'll have F1 on, but I'll be watching football, you know, if there's no battles.
Yeah.
And this is where, for me, this is where my love for like GT racing and other disciplines came in years ago when F1 went through a bit of a spell like this. And it's you're so much closer. It's much more on driver ability and driver technique to get a pass done. Yeah. And like, you know, all the passes in F1 now are basically DRS, right? There's never really a pass unless it's in DRS, and that's a terrible way that they've let the sport go. I'm all for DRS, but they shouldn't be adding more zones. They should be keeping one DRS zone, but having ways that the cars can tail each other and still do an overtake if the driver actually does something awesome.
Yeah.
That's what I think. I think the DRS zone should be there to catch you up so that in a corner you can make a move.
Yes.
Not just have DRS as an overtaking zone.
Kind of like driving over like a turbo on like a old video game, you know? Like,
Formula E do that, right?
They do. They have turbo zone, Yeah, which that's a little too far towards the gaming. Like F1's always
Mario, I'm gonna win.
F1 has always been about being at the pinnacle of technology in engines and all the rest of it. They're going down the sustainable fuels route instead of electric, obviously, to keep it separate. And apparently work is well underway on that. So, you know, that's cool. They're always going to be at like the cutting edge, but they have to find a way to get the teams closer together because it's just, the Mercedes thing was boring and they were never on TV. It was mostly the midfield battle. Well, right now, apart from one or two moments at the weekend, the whole midfield was split up as well. Like there was some battles that went on for a couple of laps, but like I said, you look at the end of that race, the gaps between all the cars was just ridiculous, not exciting at all.
Yeah.
And then you watch, you know, IMSA had their multi-class Sebring 12-hour this weekend just gone as well. Way more exciting. No?
Okay.
Like, way more exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's to cast a wider net, I think that changes do need to be made, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, Milo, you want to send us off?
I got you, man.
There we go.
We're not doing it. We're not doing FM tonight then, right? Is that right?
We could, but I will.
I need to get to work.
Okay.
You gotta go to work. That's all right.
Well, I can play in the background, but I might not be very active in chat and stuff.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do?
All right, let's finish the show, then we can talk.
All right, I got you.
Yeah.
All right. To end the show, it's dad joke time. An elderly couple's in church. Wife says to the husband, "I've let out one of those silent farts. What do I do?" The husband says, "Change the battery in your fucking hearing aid."
You said that last week.
Oh, that's funny. I like that
I've
one.
definitely heard that joke very recently.
Well, it
Oh,
wasn't
really?
from me.
It wasn't on here.
Oh, wow.
Hey, Ozzy, what's up, man?
Last week, the punchline was something about bread.
Hey, Daniel, what's up, man? And Ben Ritchie, thank you for the raid as
Oh
well.
my god, how weird. Where did I hear that?
Very entertaining when the fastest cars have to start at the back. Could we see
How
something
dare
like
you
that to
accuse me?
encourage more overtaking? What about that? Verstappen
Excuse.
starts at the end.
Reverse grid.
Reverse grid.
Does F2 do that or F3?
F2's actually
I thought
very
one
good.
of them did reverse.
No, they don't do reverse because there's too many things you'd have to change with pit entries and exits and all the rest of it.
I really have got deja vu. I've definitely heard that joke.
Right,
Really recently.
whose dad have you been talking to?
Well, no one.
Well, it wasn't me.
Mental. Absolutely mental.
That's pretty funny though.
Freaked me out a bit.
I thought it was funny.
It took me a second, but it's good.
Yeah. Crickets.
Well, I couldn't. Yeah, at first I thought it was like something with the smell. Like it didn't smell.
It's not that complicated. Oh, Trossard's back.
Trossardo. I mean, Hoff, how long can you play? It's late.
Yeah, I was kind of looking forward to going to bed early.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's do it then.
Time change is crazy. I hate time change.
It's the worst when you have a toddler.
Oh wow, yeah, I can imagine.
or two.
Or two.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna save FM then. Let's just call it and play it next week.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it from the beginning because there won't be any news.
Yeah,
there won't be anything.
What's
That's perfect, actually. Yeah, we're gonna do it next week.
So
okay,
mouse is down. I'm gonna save it right now.
Yeah, I'm already out.
Alrighty, sounds good, guys.